It's absolutely wild, isn't it? How what looks like a massive show of public anger, like yesterday's big rally in Kuala Lumpur, how that can actually end up strengthening the very government it's trying to shake.
It really turns expectations on their head.
Yeah. Honestly, it makes me think about those times, when you pour all your energy into something, expecting one outcome,
Hmm.
and the universe just hands you the complete opposite, like trying to organize a perfect surprise party, maybe.
Right.
And a few things go wrong, and suddenly everyone just appreciates quiet evenings more. Sometimes the intent just misses completely. It flips the script.
That's a good way to put it.
You might assume a big protest means trouble for the government automatically. But trust me, what unfolded online after the rally yesterday, it wasn't what anyone really expected. What if this huge rally against the government actually gave the current Prime Minister, Anwar Ibrahim, an unexpected boost, especially among, say, Malay netizens?
Well, that unexpected twist is exactly where the real story seems to be. The digital aftermath was quite different from the scene on the ground.
How so?
Well, after the rally yesterday, former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin, he posted his appreciation online, thanks to attendees, staff, the usual.
Standard procedure, yeah.
You'd think his supporters would flood the comments, right? All solidarity and praise.
Logically, yes.
But the reality, looking at the broader online feeling, was, well, surprising. The reaction on his post was overwhelmingly sarcastic and critical.
Really sarcastic.
Oh, yes. For instance, you had comments directly challenging him, like, you should be representing the people, but now you're asking people to speak for you and Paracatan National. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, no worries.
And others more pointed, like, go to sleep, Abba, using that nickname,
Yeah, Abba. Often affectionate, but sounds like not here.
Not in this context, no. It went on. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim already told you many times to attend the next parliament session. Don't play truant.
Implying he should be doing his job in parliament, not protesting.
Precisely. It really raises a big question. Why did a simple thank you note from a former PM get hit with such a strong negative backlash online from the wider public?
That contrast is really something, especially when you compare it to Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's reaction.
Exactly.
He also put out a statement after the rally. And let's be clear, this rally was against him, against his government.
Yes, explicitly so.
But here's the thing. He didn't lash out. He didn't call for police action, didn't talk about suppression, which, we've seen happen before.
A definite departure from some past approaches.
Instead, he publicly thanked all the security teams, police, firefighters, medical teams, volunteers, everyone who kept things orderly and safe.
Focusing on public service.
Yeah, and he even used it as a chance to reaffirm Malaysia's commitment to democratic principles.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, the whole thing. Even invited people back to KL later, maybe see the sights.
Interesting touch.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The comments under Anwar's post. Overwhelmingly positive. People were calling him the most chill prime minister, praising him for upholding democratic space.
That is a stark difference.
It couldn't be clearer. So what does this huge difference in online sentiment actually mean for the political situation? How did a protest meant to weaken Anwar somehow, online at least, seem to boost him?
Well, looking at it analytically, a major issue, as some see it, was the rally's main demand itself, topple Anwar.
Right.
Thinking about the bigger picture, that demand was it was too extreme. For a couple of key reasons, really.
Okay, good.
First, it just couldn't build maximum consensus. You have people, maybe lots of people, who aren't happy with the current government for various reasons.
Sure, that's normal.
But they might not want outright instability. They might not want a complete government overthrow, especially after, the recent political turbulence.
Understandable. People want stability.
And second, from a PR perspective, when you make such an absolute extreme demand, well, you kind of invite people to hold you to that same super high standard.
Setting yourself up.
Exactly. And that backfired quite clearly on Muhyiddin when he started criticizing the current government on things like, say, rising national debt or people struggling.
Yeah.
Lots of netizens immediately shot back, pointing to his own time as PM. They asked, wasn't debt also rising then? Were people really doing better under his leadership?
The consistency question.
Precisely. It brings up this issue of consistency, maybe even perceived hypocrisy, that the online public is incredibly quick to spot and call out.
And that credibility issue wasn't just limited to Muhyiddin, was it? It seemed to touch other prominent figures tied to that narrative, too.
Yeah, that's our point.
Like Turun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. He often talks about the current government seizing the people's money, needing to be brought down for the country's good.
Yes, that's been a consistent theme from him.
But then you have reports circulating, sparking a lot of public chat about his own family's wealth. Maybe talk about millions of ringgit for a child's home, things like that.
Those reports did get attention.
It just makes you pause, doesn't it? You hear these strong statements about seizing money, and then you see those reports. It raises questions about credibility.
It certainly fuels skepticism for some.
If the main goal really was the people's well-being all along, you have to ask, why didn't living standards jump up massively during his, 2 decades plus in power? And why did Malaysia seem to sort of decline from its earlier economic boom times near the end of his second run?
These are the historical questions that surface.
Exactly. And these questions, when they're out there in the public mind, they really water down the arguments against the current government.
It makes the attacks less potent.
Totally. If the rally had aimed for something more, maybe moderate, like just pushing Anwar to deliver on his reform promises,
That's a different focus.
it probably would have pulled in way more support. Maybe even from different NGOs, civil society groups. But going for the full toppling, ironically, it seems to have pushed those undecided voters, the fence-sitters, maybe closer to the current government.
That dynamic is particularly striking when you look at where some of this online discussion happened, even on platforms often seen as, let's say, friendly territory for the opposition.
Oh, like where?
Well, there was an analysis done, quite fascinating actually, on about 1,700 comments from a Malay news portal. This portal is often considered, a place where opposition supporters tend to gather.
Okay, so a potentially sympathetic audience for Muhyiddin.
You'd think so. The analysis specifically looked at reactions to Muhyiddin's statement that the government had failed to control prices.
A key economic argument for the opposition.
Absolutely. But the AI analysis, sifting through all those comments, found that nearly 80% opposed Muhyiddin's claim.
Wow, 80% against him.
Yeah.
On that kind of portal.
Yes. And a significant majority within that group actually expressed support for the current government's handling of the economy.
What reasons were they giving?
Well, many comments defended the government, saying things like, price hikes are complex, they're a global issue, not just something one government can magically fix.
Acknowledging external factors.
Right. And they also pointed to actual steps the government has taken, subsidies, aid programs, things meant to soften the blow for people.
Okay.
And crucially, many comments actively pushed back against the opposition claims. They questioned the opposition's own track records on prices when they were in charge, accused them of basically politicizing economic pain for votes.
So turning the tables.
Pretty much. Now, the minority, the 20% or so who did support Muhyiddin, they mostly echoed his points, disappointment over living costs, criticism of policies, but often without much detailed counter-argument.
Interesting.
It really makes you ask, why was there such a strong pushback against the opposition's core economic arguments, even on the platform where you'd expect them to get a much warmer reception?
Let's dig into some of those specific comments, especially the top-liked ones from that analysis. They really paint a picture of the mood.
They certainly do.
One comment apparently went straight for the ringgit's value with the currency, the currency depreciation, calling it stupid.
Yeah.
Clearly aimed at Muhyiddin's economic oversight, past or present.
A direct hit.
Another one was way more personal, almost brutal. Go away, you were weak when you were prime minister. Talk like a dying man, wake up.
Wow, very harsh. Shows the level of feeling there.
Absolutely. Then there was this sarcastic question asking if income didn't rise, was referring to, quote, Abba and son-in-law's plundered income.
Referencing past allegations, clearly.
Yes, tapping into those widely discussed corruption concerns. And another really cutting one. When you were prime minister, the poor lived miserably. Only your family and cronies lived in luxury.
Again, focusing on perceived inequality during his tenure.
And maybe the kicker, given everything Malaysia went through recently. A comment suggesting if he became PM again, Malaysia might just go into another MCO, another movement control order.
Bringing up the pandemic lockdowns.
Yeah, possibly linking it back to controversies around how those were handled.
Right.
It just seems the economic points the opposition banked on. They didn't just fall flat online, they actually triggered a backlash, particularly among Malay netizens. It completely flipped the script on who gained ground from yesterday's events.
So yes, when we connect all these threads, look at the bigger picture. Despite the rally drawing a significant crowd, maybe over 20,000, which is, not insignificant.
It's definitely a visible turnout.
It ultimately seems to have failed to shift broader public sentiment towards Parakat National, especially among Malay netizens online, that topple Anwar narrative. It appears it only really energized their existing hardcore base.
But didn't bring in new people.
Exactly. It failed to attract those crucial undecided voters. And this leads to a really important takeaway. It's actually a warning for the current government.
Oh.
Even though this seems like a win for them, especially because of that. Despite what looks like an unexpected boost in online perception, they absolutely cannot afford to get complacent. You know the saying, always respect your opponent.
Sure.
The government has to keep performing. They need to deliver, especially on those critical economic issues people care so much about. Aim for, let's say, at least 80% effectiveness in what they do.
Because online chatter isn't votes.
Precisely. Online sentiment is a powerful indicator, increasingly so. But it doesn't always map one-to-one onto ballot box results. There's still a gap.
So the real test is ongoing performance.
Absolutely. The government's real challenge, its true test, is the long game. Ensuring Malaysia develops stably, navigates these global economic uncertainties effectively. That's the foundation for long-term prosperity and lasting public trust.
So wrapping this up, when you look at yesterday's rally and then you see these online ripples, it really makes you think, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
In this digital age we're in, can a big physical protest sometimes backfire so badly that it actually strengthens the very target it was meant to destabilize? It feels like the old rules are being rewritten.
The dynamics are definitely shifting.
What do you think it takes now to really move public opinion beyond just the physical act of showing up? Is it about the narrative? Is it perceived sincerity? Is it something else entirely in this world where every action gets an instant digital echo?
That's the multi-million ringgit question, isn't it?
It really is. Something to definitely chew on the next time you see a headline about political rallies and movements anywhere in the world.